This is the brand new V50 Open. Now there was a V50 Open before, but this is a completely new model from the hull all the way up. It's been completely reconfigured, but it keeps the same themes that were so successful on the previous boat. Now earlier this year we looked at a V50 deck saloon. That's also a new model. That's the one that's got the doors at the back, the deck saloon as the name suggests, and then a cockpit at the back. This is the sportier one. This is the med boat. So this is the one with the big sun pad on the back. We've got the garage on this one. We've got the lifting platform. It's very much a boat for the kind of weather that we're experiencing today. This is the very, very first one, so it's exciting to show you this. Now, a couple of things that have changed on this. One is the fact that there are two options for this garage. You can have it fitted out for a Williams, so a 325 or a 285 will go into there with a dedicated shape to take it, but a lot of people are choosing to put tenders on the bathing platform and having that as a toy box. So they're doing an option now, in fact it's the standard option, where that has got a much more flat floor, and then you can put all your toys and bits and pieces in there, so folding bikes and kayaks and all that kind of stuff, and then you would put a tender on here. This has got a 300 kilogram lift, so you can put, I guess you put a Williams 285 on there. I think that's about 300 kilograms, so you'd still get a pretty decent tender on there. If we head on this way, we've got the shore power plugs in here. There's a passerelle that extends out of there. Because it's got the garage, it's got the big sun pad on the back. And this is what I mean about it being the open. This whole main deck is open from the companionway all the way back. It's open back here. And this is a proper cockpit. As I say, the deck saloon version, that's got doors here. As you go through the doors, you're very much on the inside of the boat. Now, if we head on forward again, wet bar on this side, of course. So that's got your barbecue, your sink, and there's a fridge as well down this end. Another thing that's changed is a small detail, but a good one. They've put a much larger table on. They always used to have quite long but narrow tables, which was fine if there's only 2 or 3 of you. But if you want to sit right around it, it was a little bit cramped. So they've extended the size of that and shaped it a little bit more, so you've still got a good walkway through past it. But another big change is on the previous V50, if you had the deck saloon, you had a solid sliding roof. If you had the open, you had a fabric roof. On this one, they're putting the solid sliding roof on both of them. It's just a little bit more sophisticated. And as you can see, it's got the glass panels in here as well. You can have blinds that come down over here as an option if you want. Not really quite so necessary, because this is very much an outside area. And we can prod a button here, that one, and that will slide, there it goes, very smoothly backwards. And despite the fact that obviously with a solid roof rather than a fabric one, it doesn't go quite so far back, because obviously it needs to have somewhere to go, whereas a fabric one doesn't, it just concertinas up. You've still got a really good opening here. Look at that. So still very much that open feel, and in fact they've put a drop window next to the helm as well, so when you're sat at the helm, it does feel like a proper open boat. Now on this one, this is very much customer specification. This has got just the plain upholstery in here. You can have this a lot more featured if you want. There's all sorts of options on the boat, and that is one of them, to have, I think they call it the Allure Pack, where they put a lot more featuring in. But as I say, this owner's gone for this one. There's a step up here. What that means is that when you're sat at the helm, you've got a really great view out. Another big change, one-piece windscreen. The old V50 had a bar down the centre. It was 2 pieces of glass. That feels a lot more open. But because this area is raised, if you want to, you can hold onto the wheel here, stand up, and look out the top. That's very good. Love the way they've done all this around here. That looks very, very smart. It's all glass cockpit now, so there's no traditional instruments at all. All your engine instruments are on this screen, and then this one can be your radar or your charts or whatever else, and you can configure these, of course, however you want. Bow thruster on this one, we've got the throttle and gear shift control, so into gear and throttle up, but also an IPS controller, because it's IPS drive on here. And that one there, although these are touch screens, you can control it from here as well, which is quite nice. When you're bouncing along trying to use this, it's not always quite so easy. So this just gives you the ability to adjust things on the fly without having to reach for it and get sticky finger marks over it. Another thing that's changed, cup holders. They've upgraded the cup holders, so you've got the nice stainless steel ones here, but also you can see them molded in up here. And if we come back here, you can see them molded in across here. It's a small detail, but it just makes life a lot more easy on board. A lot more easy? A lot easier on board. That one there is for bottles, so that's to go with your bar area. And this one here, you can see there's a catch over there. That's actually a life raft where you release that and then pull the whole thing this way, and you can take a life raft out of there. So that's life raft storage built in, out of the way, but ready for action. Nice little seating up area here up alongside the helm. There's just one little step up there, and again that gives you a bit of height to get a great view out. This is very much an owner-operator boat. You wouldn't have crew with this boat, so the ability for everyone to sit together when you're underway is really important. Now if we head on down to the lower deck, so this is the big change. You've got a sliding door here that comes across and that locks, so that becomes a secure area down there with the deck saloon. Of course, we're already inside when we're in this area. On this one, it's called the Open because it is open. It's not until we go down here that we're actually into the cabin proper. Now another interesting thing about this particular boat and the specification that the owner has chosen is he's gone for a very light wood. This is, I think I'm right in saying, Alba oak. There's a Revere oak as well, which is a bit darker, and then there's walnut, which is darker again. So it's quite unusual to see this, but it does feel nice. It makes it feel very, very open. It gives it a little bit of a beach house vibe, I think. We've got the galley over on this side. Again, you're seeing changes here because they're putting this, I don't know what you call it, probably like a mushroom colour in around here. Just adds a bit more interest. There's some nice details like crockery stowage down underneath here. So this is all shaped for your cups and your plates and so on. And the same there. So very practical, and it just uses every area. They've gone for oak on the floor here. The steps are teak, whatever you go for. So that again just gives a nice bit of contrast. Huge fridge freezer here. So that just opens as you'd expect, like so. And then here you've got a bit of storage, the bin, and so forth. And then over here, cutlery drawers. All soft close. It's all electric cooking on this one. And then there's more storage again when we come up here like this. Now, more options. You can have a third cabin here, so you can have a bulkhead across there and bunk beds in there. That's quite a popular option on the deck saloon because you have obviously a saloon area up here. You don't on this one, so most of these go out with this dinette down here because it is an area that you can get right in, out of the weather. You're out of the cockpit, you're inside the boat proper. And of course you can convert that anyway, so that table will drop down. There's an infill cushion that goes on there and that makes it into a bed, so you still got the ability to sleep six. But if you did particularly want to have 3 cabins with permanent sleeping, then you can have that there if you want it. Other things we find down here, this has got the distribution panel up here. Very much classic Princess. You've got your AC over here and then you've got your DC over here, and you can monitor everything. The Fusion stereo is there as well. There's blinds that drop down over these windows. That's what those fellows there are. And then if we come on round and forward again, day heads is here, like so. And then you've also got, if we head forward again, the guest cabin. Now this one, again, more options. This is configured with a double bed in the center. What you can have is what they call scissor beds. So that's basically, it's like a double but split down the center, and you can push them to the sides and make that into a V twin bunked single bed cabin if you prefer. Quite handy if you've got kids, of course, but if you want this as a double, then this is the standard option. Down underneath here, just tons of storage. These are huge, and again, all nicely soft close. You've got hanging lockers in here like this. This is access to some of the engineering spaces, so that just pulls off like so, and it gets you to the air conditioning, trunking and wiring and plumbing and all that kind of stuff. Again, it's all very practical. More storage then up around here, and then you've got these big windows with a nice view out, and these sections here are opening sections, get a bit of ventilation. I like the way they've done the feature panel across the head of the bed, and then you've got a hatch overhead, and that obviously has blinds that come across it as well, as to these windows. If we pull that one shut, I mentioned that the day heads was in through there, but at night that becomes the ensuite to this cabin. Thusly. There we go, and again, all very Princess, isn't it? With this lovely Perrin and Roe bowl here, and the way they finished this, and the glass splashback across there. Very nice. Now, if we head aft, we will discover owner's cabin. There we go. Full beam of the boat. Again, this kind of stuff is what you had on the previous V50, and quite rightly they haven't changed it because it's what people want. Nice big owner cabin. Seating on this side, someone to tuck yourself away with a good book, of course. Again, there's lovely feature boards and contrasting panels, look so good on these. Ton of storage down on this side. Big hanging locker in here, and those are the infill cushions that go on that table that we saw that drops in the saloon area. And this, as you'd expect, has its own ensuite. That's over here. So, nice shower area there, like so. And then the toilet's in there. Very, very nice. That's a lovely cabin, isn't it? Let's come right back here and sit on this nice couch. Take all that in. Fantastic. These are a great boat for families. You know, 2 adults, 2 kids, that sort of thing. Room for some extra people who want to stay over, and very, very manageable. Oh, the music started. There we go, you've got all the lighting down underneath here, of course. Even an extractor fan down under there as well. Okay, let's come back out this way. We're going to take a turn around the deck, so we're going to listen to the music on the Princess stand. Welcome to Cannes. So if we come out here, this one's got the option of teak on here, which is very nice. And this is another very much modern Princess thing. The way this is all formed around here, it's all a lot more stylish than it used to be on the previous boats. But it's still got things like the big, thick, chunky rails. It still feels very, very Princess. This is this solid sliding roof, you can see what I mean. And this is that big opening that it leaves when you slide it back. Let's come right up to the bow. Again, you can see that one-piece windscreen again from here. Some bed cushions up on the bow. You can option this to have lift-up sections, so you can sit facing forward if you want to. And then if we come right up here, that's the hatch over that forward cabin. And then up here is your anchor gear, your winch, your anchor, cleats and so forth, and then access down into the chain locker. Let's come right up to the bow, spin on around. Look at that. That's a nice looking bit of kit, isn't it? Okay, last thing to talk about is engines. So if we come right back down here, I'll show you what she's got. Here we go. Bear with me while I get my feet in there. Okay, here we are. So down here are a pair of Volvo Penta D6 IPS 650 engines. They're 480 horsepower each. They're going to give the boat about 30 knots and cruising therefore 20 to 25. It's pretty typical for a boat of this sort of size and style. And range, again, pretty typical. Expect, I would say, about 250 miles. This is the tender garage here. So that's obviously comes down over the engines a bit, as you'd expect. It's just, you know, you're going to put a tender in there. That's the only way you're going to do it. If you go for a deck saloon version, there's a bit more height in here, but you lose the tender garage. They're all a compromise. But nonetheless, it's all pretty get-attable. And we've got battery boxes down here, again, all very Princess. The way that everything is nicely located and vented and so forth. Fabulous. Okay, let's come back out of here. And I think we will close that down, wander around here. Let's go and finish right up at the bow. It's a beautiful Cannes day. It's Princess V55 here right next door. Very similar, but obviously a larger model. Full tour of one of those is, of course, on the channel. Okay. Here we go. Look at this. Absolutely beautiful. Sun's just starting to go down. Fabulous. So there it is. That is the brand new Princess V50. As I say, very first boat and a world premiere here at the show. So very pleased to bring this one. Huge thanks to Princess Yachts for organising that for me and closing the boat off so we can get a really good look at it. Huge thanks as ever to you guys for watching, and we will catch you on another one of these real soon. Take care. Bye-bye.